today's video, we're going to try and find out how Hail Caesar rule plays with the 100 Years' War armies, and if we're required to do any tweaks. This is the digital version I purchased recently. We're going to have a flick through very soon, but currently we're going to go and check what extra things we have that can accommodate the 100 Years' War, and then we're going to do a very quick play test to just a couple of situation of dice rolling to see if the tweaks work. So if we go to the army list section, we have later medieval adaptations, where you have quite a substantial information regarding Wars of the Roses and the 100 Years' War. You have troop definitions. You're talking about infantry and close order fighting, cavalry morale base. So it's giving you some specific rules. Here's a very nice peri-miniature with the 100 Years' War, the ones I have also here. Frenchman at arms at Agincourt. And then you're talking about knights, about their movement, about what kind of characteristics they may have here, special rules that they're tough fighters and stubborn. We'll get back to this. And then here he gives you a special to hit modifier, -1. The target is 4 knights or men at arms. This applies to all knights, both on foot and mounted, and regardless of whether they are shot at from the front, side, or rear. So basically it gives an extra modifier to the knights against shooting, so against probably crossbow and longbows. Now you have the formations. You're talking about household formation. It's a mixed formation. This is probably most likely, but knights, billmen, and bowmen. So this is more of War of the Roses. And it's talking about the English formation at Crazy Her. So it's creating a unit with men at arms and billmen in the case of the Wars of the Roses, and some longbowmen on the flanks. We'll go and see this. And here it gives you the attributes. So household, mixed infantry, bill, halberd, longbow, crossbow. So you can have men at arms here for the 100 Years' War and longbows. And it gives you class 7, sustain 7, short range, long range, +4 morale save and stamina. Typical, I think, logical attributes. Then you have the medieval block formation, very specially pike blocks, and you have special rules regarding arbalists. Probably the crossbowman, it's range 18, target is capped at +5, and no closing and traversing shot. Makes sense because the crossbowman, the disadvantage was that they were very slow in their rate of fire was very slow. So it's quite a few information here. We're talking about block formation, probably pike blocks. It gives example. Arquebus, another the Hungans basically of the era. This is probably going to work more for Wars of the Roses, and for some very nice photographs. And then you go here, you see cannons and how cannons work. Obviously, you can use them in the 100 Years' War and rules. What type of artillery, the range, the shots, based obviously in the Hail Caesar rules. Here is, I think, Wars of the Roses, and this is 100 Years' War. And then you go to siege guns, and they have longbows. Now the longbows give them a 20-inch range instead of 18, so they give them more range than the crossbows, and that's a good rule. But they don't give them anything special, different, and this is where I have my reservations. They're marksmen, obviously, so they can reroll. A failed shot. They can reroll, so that's quite good. It gives them some type of advantage. Here it goes with the Wars of the Roses, and you're talking about medieval pikes. You can use this for the Scottish. There's quite a substantial rules, and it says how this works. There's quite a substantial rules in medieval, and here you have pavises and stakes. That's good. Cavalry charging must test for disorder. Cavalry obliged to retire are automatically disordered. So it says some specific rules regarding the longbow. Cavalry charging an infantry unit protected by static defenses, that stakes, must test for disorder. Once they have done so, roll a dice. On a 1, 2, and 3, the cavalry are disordered. On a 4, 5, 6, they pass the test and they're not disordered. Note that if the cavalry must test for some other reason, for example, if they are charging a pike block or infantry equipped with long spears, then they only have to test once. Okay, yeah. So this is the rules for pikes. That's okay. It's fine. I think they're not. It's not bad. And how it has the army list. The only army list it has is Wars of the Roses, and it gives you a good analysis of the percentage. Now, what can we use for the 100 Years' War? So obviously, household of mixed infantry, build and longbow. These units here, the first and the second, or here the one. Obviously, you can use class of 7 sustained, 7 short range, 3 long range. Okay, long range you won't have in the 100 Years' War, so you can use this household mixed infantry or general infantry Hellberg. You see here. Let me highlight it for you. So this Hellberg infantry again 7730. This could be men at arms. This could be men at arms. The men at arms, as we said, were mixed formations with knights and heavy infantry, men at arms. So this could portray all the foot units if you don't going to go specifically to pavises. So this can portray these units of infantry, so men at arms. But this would be a bit boring because the statistics here are all the same. And you'll tell me, okay, Nick, we have these units, they're all men at arms, French and English. How are we gonna, spice the game a bit up? So what I would do is I would probably go and check the special rules and then give different special rules to different units depending on what I believe they have or how they look. We'll go to this one. So for example, if you see here, there is knights and men-at-arms, Bill and Helberg, fielded as a small unit. They're tough fighters, they're stubborn, valiant. I have a list of special rules that I believe that they can accommodate this. So we found our infantry, we found our basic, the major part of our armies. If we go below, we see medium infantry crossbowmen here. So crossbowmen we have as well. So we're fine with the crossbowmen. I think they're fine. They have the crossbow special rules. They cap at 5. But again, if you see, they have exactly the same attribute as the longbowman here. Medium infantry longbowman 5, 5, 3, 3 plus 5, 6. Okay, but the longbowmen have the marksman ability that can reroll a die. It gives them advantage, but I don't know if it gives them too much advantage. What I would have changed most probably is the short range. I would have changed the short range for the longbowman, or the long range. Actually, I would have changed the long range for the longbowman, and I would have given them a 4. I was thinking of giving them 4 and 4, but I was giving them 4. I think this is where you can make a distinction between the longbowman and the crossbowman, and you can have a more realistic army. You can have obviously light longbowman infantry and a small unit, so there's quite a lot. Handguns here, mounted knights and men-at-arms. These are fine. I think these are quite good. They portray really well the period. There's no issue, and they're tough fighters, stubborn and violent. This is where you're going to make the distinction between your man-at-arm units. This is where you're gonna make a change. This is where you're gonna make the game more interesting. They have light cavalry, the hobilars, cannons, light cannons. So you have and commanders. You have a substantial number of units in the army list that you can accommodate the 100 Years' War generically. But let's see how we're going to make it, spice it up. Here you see, this is the unit they're talking about. So if they're using this in the Wars of the Roses. So if I use men-at-arms in the center and I have longbowman, it's a type of hearse formation. And then you can go back here in the top and use these attributes, the attributes of household, mixed infantry, bill, and longbow. And, well, basically it's the same infantry attributes, but just you add basically the wrong range. And you have marksmen. So, yeah, if you would like, if you like this setup here, which you see in the picture, let's go back in the photograph. Yeah, I don't like it that much, but you can do it. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. So let's go and see an army list so I can show you what I mean. So we have here men-at-arms on foot, men-at-arms on foot, men-at-arms on foot. All have, as you can see, the same attributes, 7, 7, 3, plus 4 and 6. So how are we going to spice up the game? How are we going to make it more clear? So we go to special rules. You can make them tough fighters, stubborn, valiant, double-handed weapon in one unit. The other unit may have more noble, so it could be tough fighters, stubborn, and elite. The others, you give them long spear. So you could be a tough fighter, stubborn with a long spear. All this make the units react differently because they roll different in different situations. So although here they're quite similar, the one unit can be elite with double-handed weapon, the other could be tough fighters with lance, with spear. So by tweaking the special rules accordingly, the man-at-arms on foot can differentiate from each other. The longbowmen, I will go for marksman, obviously. It could be you can put longbowmen as tough fighters. They were tough fighters, so you can add characteristics. We'll go to the characteristics after with the special rules. And now here's where I have the red, where I was, thinking what I will do. So I was thinking 4 and 4 for longbowman. So to differentiate it with the crossbowman that have 3 and 3. Maybe I should put 4 only in long range. I don't know what you think. And in short range, we can keep them 3 and 3. We can keep them the same. But crossbows, I would most probably do move or shoot. This is a standard rule that many rule sets are using. It's something that the crossbowman had as an issue, reloading, late reloading. So it could be that you move and you give an order to move, and then the next time you have to give an order to shoot. Although this, I don't know if it works with Hail Caesar because you can give 2 or 3 orders. Maybe this could be questionable, but we could see how it works. But for the English, I'm for sure the long range should be better because they were more successful, and maybe the short range should be the same with the crossbowman. Now, some special rules that I've read and I think fit the 100 Years' War is lance, so 1 morale save on charge and counter charge. Marksman for sure, reroll 1 missed shot. Stubborn, reroll failed morale save, so that's good for experienced units. Valiant, break test, reroll once per battle, so that's good. It could be for high noble knights, that the units that have many knights. Tough fighters, reroll 1 missed combat attack. That could be for Scots, long spears. Charging cavalry chariots disordered on a roll of 1, 2, and 3, except condors. Chargers lose charge bonus except other long spears and pikes, so that's good. Again, you can use them for different men-at-arms. Many men-at-arms used long spears. So in this way, you have pikes, obviously, where they have a lot of cavalry. Cavalry and chariots cannot charge pikes unless disordered. Cavalry chariot charging disordered pike must test for disorder. Elite recover from disorder on a roll of 4+ at the start of a command. So it could be an elite unit with very, famous warriors. Brave, the shaken units rally without an order. Crossbows, enemy morale capped to +5, no closing or traversing shot. Double-handed weapon, enemy morale save capped at 5+. So here there's there are quite a few others. Special rules, but I think this portray quite well the 100 Years' War, and by using this differently in different units, I don't really believe why I don't let's say have any reservation of that. You can use tough fighters, for example, for the English longbows. They were tough fighters, or stubborn. They were stubborn, and there you can with the special rules that these rules have, you can spice the game up and get it closer to the 100 Years' War. So, men-at-arms on foot, yes, we have all these special rules that can make the units that have have all the same attributes and characteristics to make them play very differently and make the strategy more important. So, I believe that by creating an army list like this, and differentiating units of men-at-arms with the special rules that are quite simple, but they give different advantages and disadvantages to every unit, you make the game a little more interesting. The Mounted Knights, I think they are very well designed. It's fine, 9, 6 sustained, 9 clash, short range 3, they're supports, long range you don't have, +4 morale, and the tough fighters, stubborn, valiant, and they have a lance. The longbowman marksman, yes, they give advantages against the crossbows, but I think one of these attributes should be better. Short range, maybe not, because crossbowmen were as strong as longbows in close range, so maybe this 4 can become a 3. But long range longbowmen were a bit more, let's say, successful in disordering opponents. So yes, that's what I think. So let's go to the table and see how this, let's say, revised army list that I showed you work, and especially the longbows. Just a few situations, we'll roll a couple of dice and see how it works.
Now let's have a look how the rules will work. Now we have a longbow unit against a unit of French men-at-arms. It's long distance, short distance. We said we're going to do 4 and 3, maybe 4 and 4. Let's see. So let's say this is a short distance and we roll with 3 dice. Now, so we know that the English are marksmen, so they can reroll 1 set of dice if they don't like the result. So we have 4 dice, let's say 3 dice. Let's say 3 dice, what we said at the beginning, so we're keeping the original for long distance. Let's say we're shooting long distance. So we hit with a 4, 5, and a 6, but now we know that the men-at-arms they have a -1 as per the high medieval rules of Hail Caesar 2. So they have 3, let's see, so we need to hit with a 5 and a 6. So it's actually not good, so no hits at all. Let's try one more time, see. No hits, so let's see, we get a reroll, we're marksmen. So again, no hits. I don't think the 3 dice will work. They're very weak. The English created havoc. Maybe if we do 4 dice for all, short and long range. Yeah, 4 dice, we have 3 hits for the English. We weren't gonna re-rolls. Let's have another, see. Now we have a 5 and a 6. So that means that they will take, the French knights will take a cohesion test, or break test as it's called. So if we have 2 hits, the French first of all have to defend with 4, 5 and a 6. They defend 1, and they have to take a cohesion test, a break test, and they roll, well, terrible. 1 is disaster. Let's say 5 and a 9. So I think maybe 4 would be better for the English. 3 looks very difficult to hit and to understand the power of their longbow. So again, you see, with 3 dice, it's a 4. It's not even 1 hit, because we know that the men-at-arms have given -1 as per the Hail Caesar rules. -1 because they're, you know, heavy infantry, well armored with shields and everything, close order. So 3 doesn't seem to work at all. It's very ineffective. So I would say 4 and 4 will be perfect for the longbowman, or a bit better, yeah. You have more choices. And you have the marksman rule that gives you a reroll. So I think 4 and 4, guys, would fit better. Because if you roll 1, 6, then you can get a break test. And if the French are unlucky, or they can, you know, roll lower dice, and you can push them back. So I think for the English longbows, 3 is very weak. You see, double 6 is becoming more interesting. I think 4 dice feel a bit better. So let's go here and see the hand-to-hand combat. I made the units a little bit different so we can have different characteristics and see how they work. So here the English from this side, left side, as you see, I don't know if you can notice, I have quite a few long spears and spearmen, men-at-arms with spearmen. And here the French side has quite a few double-handed weapons. So everyone will have different characteristics. We have the same clash, sustain, and short range numbers, but the French will be tough fighters, valiant, and will have a double-handed weapon, and the English will be tough fighters, stubborn, and a long spear. So let's consider that the French are charging. Now the French will get a charge bonus. They have 7 dice. So let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dice. And they would hit with a 3, 4, 5, and a 6 because they have the charge bonus by charging the English. But because the English have long spears, chargers lose charge bonus, except if they're long spears and pikes. So this is again first immediate advantage and changing all the balance of the battle and all your strategy depending on the special rules that every unit will have, although the attributes are the same. So let's roll and see. The French then, instead of 5 and a 6, they will roll with 3, 4, 5, and a 6. They need a 4, 5, and a 6, and they roll 6, 6, 5. Quite good roll. and a 4. So 4 possible hits against the English. Now the French, we said they have a double-handed weapon, they're tough fighters, and they're valiant. Now valiant rule says that they can reroll a break test once per battle, and they're tough fighters, and tough fighters mean that they reroll 1 missed combat attack. So I don't think they should reroll it because 4 is quite good. So the English have to defend now 4 hits, but because the French have double-handed weapon, they cap their defense at 5. So the English need 5s in order to avoid being hit. So the English roll a 6, and they have 3 hits. Now let's see the characteristics of the English, because we talked about previously, is the English are tough fighters, stubborn, and they have long spears. So tough fighters, as I said previously for the French, means they can roll a missed combat attack. They're stubborn, so they reroll failed morale save. So because they're stubborn, they will reroll, because 1 success, maybe we can do better. So being stubborn, the English will reroll, and they will try to do better. Again, they hit with a 6, with 5 and a 6 they defend, and they did much, much better now. 3 saves, 1 only hit against the English. So that's good for the French. For the English, 1 hit, this stubborn rule work. Now the English fight back. The English fight back with 7 dice, exactly the same. The spears don't have any attacking advantages. They're just a defensive weapon, so they reduce the charge. They remove the charge bonus for the French. So they hit straight 4, 5, and a 6, and 7 dice. So let's see. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4 possible hits. Now, as we said, they're stubborn, and they reroll a morale save, and they are tough fighters. Tough fighters can reroll an attack, a missed combat attack, but I think 4 out of 7 is good. I don't think the English should. So the French have to defend with a 4, 5, and a 6. The English don't have a double-handed weapon. They don't cap at +5, so they will have to roll 4, 5, and 6 to defend. Let's see. And they roll 1 only, and they lose 3. So unfortunately, the French have to lose. They have 3 hits, and they, well, basically lost the battle. So 3 hits against the French, 1 hit against the English, so it's a victory against the French. The English win. So we have to take a morale test for the French with the +1, +2 actually, the difference between the hits, a negative modifier. So the French roll 2d6, and they will add a 2. 3 + 2, 5. And -2, excuse me, it's 3, and that's terrible because infantry break if shaken, otherwise give ground together with supports all disorder. So terrible roll, but a break test, the French being valiant, they can reroll a break test once per battle. So this is critical because they rolled really, really bad and they would be pushed back. So being valiant, they will roll this break test, and they roll an 8. -2, it's a 6. Give ground in good order together with supports. That's much, much better for the French. They will give a good order together with support, so they will basically be pushed back 6 inches and in good order, and the English obviously will follow up. So guys, in my opinion, the way we did it with the special rules give character to every unit and a different strategy. So even the characteristics are the same, and it would have been the same, all being men-at-arms. It gives the flavor of the 100 Years' War. And shooting, I would say that if we want to portray the English quicker, more correctly, the English longbowman, I think for sure 4 dice for long and assault range in order to show the difference also between them and the crossbowman, and show the actual power of the longbow of creating circumstances that units will get in push and everything. So in this case, I hope you understood, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think this rule set is one of the best for the 100 Years' War. The rear supports, the left supports, the back supports, the pushing. The movement is easy. The orders you're giving, the general advance, some orders that they were not in the previous one. I think these rules are really, really good for the 100 Years' War. And I think the way we did it now, I think it portrays well the period, especially with the 4 that we're going to give to the longbowmen. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Battle report coming up. Hail Caesar. I'm sure you will like it. And flick through of Hail Caesar rules coming up soon on the channel. Let me know if you want anything, or if you are interested in any videos during the 100 Years' Wars. I haven't made many bios recently or many historical battles. I need to ask my fellow friend YouTubers to narrate for me, but soon we'll have a couple of them by the end of the year. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and bye-bye.